It's July 24, 2016, and we want to know, how many Londoners would you kill for a decent chicken vindaloo?
Just how much does the new Eradicator suck?
All this and more is coming up now. It's week 8 of DC Rebirth here at DCR.
This day, we rescue a world from mysticism and tyranny, and usher in a future brighter than anything we can imagine.
Look! Up in the sky! It's a bird!
It's a plane!
It's
Distress Citizens Radio.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the DCR. I remain your host, Sean Lamont, comic book reader extraordinaire, joined as always by my cohort in crime, the Punmeister General, Mr. Brian Glein. Hola.
Hello.
Hola. How are you?
I'm doing all right.
Como esta?
Bien.
Are you ready to do some comic bookery stuff?
Yes, I am.
I hear it's rather in this weekend, but with the whole Comic-Con thing.
Oh yeah, that is
on.
Happening now, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's all the rage. Apparently, people love the comic bookeries.
Oh, they love movies based on comic books.
They love the comic bookeries.
Yes,
they love standing in lines, just like comic books.
Mm-hmm.
I
really feel like I'm missing out by being able to watch all the stuff that they're watching about 5 minutes later on the internet.
Yeah, it's really, really difficult for me to sit here in this air-conditioned room and hit play. Mm-hmm. But why don't you give the folks a forewarning of what we're doing here today?
We're going to be spoiling all of the comics that came out this past week in DC's DC Rebirth line.
Wow, that's pretty convenient. Since if you said at the top of the show we were going to cover week 8 and everything, I mean, It almost seems like it's predestined.
Whoa.
Pre-planned. But we are going to be talking about everything that happened in this week's book. So if you have not read them, if you do not want them spoiled, do not listen ahead. It's pretty simple. I'm sure you guys understand spoiler warnings by this point. So without any other jibber jabber, we're just going to jump right into it and cover this week's books. I guess we should start with Justice League.
Sounds like a plan.
I mean, it's pretty big, you think? Yeah. Justice League #1, you rarely get that. I mean,
they were fighting a space bug.
For as much as Batman and Superman rarely rebooted, it seems like Justice League reboots a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going back, like, trying to catch up on things. There's a lot, they just kept changing it. It's Justice League, it's Justice League of America, it's JLA, it's Justice League, extra justice with some more justice on the side. There's a lot of justice.
Yeah.
A lot of justice. But we're going to cover Justice League #1. So, something obviously is not right. Something is causing major earthquakes all around the world, and I'm sure it has nothing to do with these extinction machines that the arc is called Extinction Machines Part 1. So I'm sure that has nothing to do with all of the giant earthquakes all over the place. And everyone is trying to do what they can to help. Everyone except Superman. Well, he is off doing it, but he's not really part of the league. We're still at this weird stage in Justice League where it's the new Superman and everyone's like, he looks kind of like Superman in 10, 15 years, and he seems like he's a good guy, but we still haven't technically invited him in. Well, we have, but he's not an official member yet. But he's off doing his own thing, saving people. But there seems to be more happening at each one of these disaster sites that's going on, because Green Lantern, Simon Baz, and Jessica Cruz are fending off a tidal wave in Hong Kong because, earthquakes everywhere. That's what happens. You get some tsunamis. So they're doing their whole thing when all of a sudden these possessed people of Hong Kong, they have like glowing red eyes, come out and start doing the whole Google gobble one of us. But they're saying, that the light is stolen, our light. You stole our light. And then they start draining the power batteries out of their rings, causing them to tumble into the ocean. And it's like, well, that's a little weird. Meanwhile, Aquaman's looking to protect his people, but then a bunch of possessed Atlanteans come up and going, you stole our words, stolen words. And he's like, oh, okay, is the word because that's really all we can speak down here. Yeah. But they all swarm over him just as Atlantis
glub.
Just as Atlantis falls into a fault line down into the sea. So Atlantis is going to be destroyed, which actually would be a very interesting take if everything going on in the Aquaman book continues as well.
Yeah.
If we have kind of almost a refugee status, that would be a very big turn as it would make a lot of sense in what they're doing right now. It'd be kind of fun, I think.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not fun, but it'd be interesting.
No.
Meanwhile, Flash is running to save people in San Diego when he meets another group of these people who go stolen speed as he falters and slows and loses his super speed. But Batman and Cyborg have other problems as a pod of lamprey monsters has landed in Gotham City.
Lamprey monsters. And as soon as it crashes into the middle of the city, all the people of Gotham are like, oh, what is it? We should walk up and poke it with sticks. And Batman's like, no! As you do in the DC universe.
How long have you guys lived in Gotham City? You should know not to do that. When all the lamprey monsters jump out and just start affixing themselves to the back of the heads of people and slurping out their brains, I'm assuming, or something. And Batman just kind of face palms like, I can't save you from yourself.
Yeah.
If you're going to do that, there's nothing I can do. But they're trying to stop whatever these lamprey monsters are. And Wonder Woman, though, gets the most information because she's trying to break up a conflict in Eastern Europe when this all goes down. And when the Gooble Gobble people show up, they call themselves the Kindred, or at least they say the Kindred are coming. And she kind of bats them all aside and says, oh yeah, well the Justice League is already here. Power pose. Da-da-da. And I'm assuming it would have been a lot better if the rest of the Justice League actually was there to power pose with her.
Yeah.
But she was kind of doing her part of the power pose. And
Justice League in a Justice League comic?
Yeah,
I don't know about that.
I know, it's weird. It's very odd. Very odd. But yeah, it's
brainwash people?
I don't know. I think it's going to be more alien type
sorry.
thing.
We gotta make more widescreen. Brainwash people?
You're not allowed to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, don't do that again.
All right.
No, it's something. It's a slow start. It's a very slow start. The Rebirth one was kind of slow. It was a let's get new Superman on the team, which had to be done. I understand that. Mm-hmm. And then this one's kind of a just literally panel 2. Earthquakes in every major city around the world, go, and they kind of go from there. And you get your little moments with everyone. Cyborg stops a train and everything, which is kind of cool because he's doing the whole, all right, I played football, I can stop a train. I did this all the time. He like gets down in stance.
So it's like the tackling dummy kind of thing.
Yeah. So I mean, it's kind of
for the train coming in. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's some great little character moments like that all over the place. But all in all, it's just basically a quick 2-page introduction to each one of the characters of the Justice League as they're doing their thing and introduce whoever the Kindred are. I don't know if they have a past or not, but space lampreys, yay!
Okay. I prefer my space starfish, but you know.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna wait until the next issue or two to see, because you have to get your groundwork down with this type of stuff, especially with a team book. It's a little bit slower to get out of the gate, but not the most exciting book. It looked good, but not the most exciting. It was more introductory, which you have to do that. So yeah, I'll give it a pass this time.
Speaking of introductory team books,
you have one?
Batgirl and the Birds of Prey.
Oh, that's
Rebirth.
Right. A lot of Birds of Prey. Caw-caw!
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So Julie Benson and Shauna Benson with Claire Rowe taking over Birds of Prey. So let's meet the team.
All right. Who we got? So
we start off with Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, who loves her dad, Commissioner Gordon. She wanted to fight crime. He wouldn't let her, so she turned to Batman for inspiration, became Batgirl. The Killing Joke paralyzes her. She becomes Oracle, which I think is new in the
they're kind of adding that back in.
Yeah, so she started the Birds of Prey with Black Canary, and she got her legs working again, went back to being Batgirl. Birds of Prey went their separate ways. She goes and takes down some crims and unlocks their phone to see if they've been working for Oracle.
What?
Yeah. She goes to a Black Canary, the band show, to find Black Canary, the person who's working as their security right now that they've got a new lead singer in Bo. So, yay, continuity.
That's kind of cute, yeah.
So we've got to get the birds back together. Someone's calling this Oracle and helping the mob. It's like, oh man, we got to get the birds back together. Does that mean Black Condor?
Oh, jeez.
No, it doesn't mean that at all. So they go to her new clock tower headquarters that she bought with Gordon Clean Energy money. Woo, continuity. And talk about Frankie, continuity. And they immediately take her out of the suspect pool because she's operator, not Oracle, remember?
Yeah.
Remember that?
We had a whole big conversation about that.
Despite all the clues, because we had the story planned out and we had to do a hard pivot. Oh, yeah. We then check in on Helena Bertolini, formerly matron of Spiral over in Grayson, now the Huntress. Doing what Huntresses do best, murdering mafiosos.
Okay, and priests.
Well, she was killing
Yeah,
a mafioso
priest.
pretending to be a priest. It's not a good week for confessionals in the DC universe.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, so she murdered a mafioso hiding as a priest. And so we go off with the new status quo of Huntress, which is the old status quo, except with less ab windows in the costume.
Fair
so,
enough.
Rebirth.
I thought it looked good.
Oh no, the new costume's great. It's literally the most logical costume Huntress has ever had, yet it still harkens back to her old
Yeah, I thought it was a good evolution.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Babs and Dinah have tracked down some more mob dudes, including Louis Pepperoni. Literally, there's a guy named Louis Pepperoni.
I don't think that's his actual name. I think that's what Black Canary keeps calling him.
Okay.
I thought it was Taroni or something like that.
Okay. All right. And the whole thing goes sideways when Huntress shows up and starts killing these dudes that they need information from. So they subdue Huntress, but she throws them off balance by saying their real names out loud because she ran a spy network and knows this stuff about all the superheroes.
All right, well, fair enough.
Yeah.
Continuity.
Yep. And then either because Helena said this out loud or just because Oracle, we see Oracle's workstation and they're looking up info on Barbara right now.
Uh-oh.
Dun, dun, dun.
So we have a new Oracle that we don't know who it is.
There's a new Oracle. We don't know who it is. The artwork is kept very vague. You see a lot of computer screens, many computer screens in front of them. You just see their hands.
Some Pockies there.
Yeah. I was going to say, if I was going to draw some Louis Pepperoni style stereotypes, just judging by the box of Pocky, I was going to make an early prediction that Oracle is carrying on the fine tradition of dudes pretending to be ladies on the internet.
So what do you think? Who do you think it is? Just a wild stab. I'm not asking you to bet your children on it.
I don't know, maybe a new younger dude calculator, perhaps?
Possible. Very possible. Yeah. I'm going to say it's Felicity.
That would also be pretty funny.
Because Green Arrow sent her on that rocket off of his book, and that's just where she landed.
After what she pulled off in that wonderful, after getting horribly dejected in the Green Arrow book.
Here, just step on the rocket, Felicity. It's fine. It's going back to my house.
Yeah. Here's my buddy Sandman Sims.
No, I don't know who it is. I just thought it would be funny if that was what it ended up being, since, if anyone's stealing the role of Oracle on major media right now.
If the Sandman got rebooted as just a dude who sweeps people as criminals off stage, that'd be great.
What do you think, though, as far as an introductory?
It was very good.
Yeah, you have your previous relationship with Batgirl and Black Canary, and then they brought in Helena very, very naturally, since she was hunting down the mafioso boss that they were also looking for information. Yeah. So it was a nice little...
The characterization was there. The continuity was there. I like the artwork. Claire did some good facial expressions.
I think Helena's doing more spy type stuff, since she would probably know about Dick Grayson and Batgirl, and...
Oh, man.
Maybe try to worm her way in there.
Oh, my God. That's extra funny. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. That'd be interesting, just kind of poison that well a little bit while I'm here, and see you later. Oh man, when Dick Grayson was a super spy, he was just sleeping with girls everywhere.
I tell you.
Well, got to be hitting the old dusty trail now. So next up, we got another Rebirth book with the Hellblazer Rebirth #1. Been a rough start for John Constantine. He had the big switch over from being Vertigo to being a member of the DC universe. Mm-hmm. Some things worked, some things didn't. Yeah. So then he just recently had the relaunch with DCU, and that seemed to turn it in a much better direction, a little bit closer to his Vertigo roots. Yeah. And now we're getting something that's looks like it's trying to walk that line again, but they're being much more careful. Maybe not more careful. They've already learned from the mistakes that have been made prior, and it looks like they're learning from them, because it starts off with the Hellblazer, John Constantine, going, the United States is kind of too weird for me right now, what with all this election stuff going on. This is a little too out there. I'm going to leave it. And just let that sink in for a second. When John Constantine's like, yeah, this is a little weird. I'm going to go. I'm going back to London. So he heads on back home. But there is that
I did like the state he left his old apartment in.
Yes. Yeah, with all the voodoo dolls and skulls and blood pentagrams.
The previous tenant's not going to clean up. It's like, no, hey, listen, in this market, you're gonna get this no matter what.
You could just stay here like this.
Get a magic eraser, Get working on them pentagrams. You want to live here.
But there is that whole matter of the continuity curse that was placed upon him because he couldn't go back to London because, that's where he used to live, but he needed to hang out with all the superheroes, so they had to get him over to the U.S. somehow. And so he ended up being cursed by a demon, and wherever he went there.
Demon.
A foppish laughing man demon, as he called him.
Very good at holding people up by the throat.
Yeah.
That's a superpower.
That's his thing. So when he does show up, he starts to get sick, but Constantine does his woodgy when the demon comes to say, ha ha ha, you're gonna die. And he ends up shirking the effects of the curse off of himself and onto all of the other residents of London, all 8 million plus people, while he sits there and enjoys himself a chicken vindaloo. And the demon's going, you do realize you're going to kill like 8 million people just to enjoy that chicken vindaloo. And he's like, yeah, it's really good though. Couldn't find anything like it back stateside. This is the best chicken vindaloo there is. And time keeps ticking down. Even the demon's getting a little panicky at this point. He's like, I don't know if I have the infrastructure for this many souls. Like literally all of my sub-demons are going to be working overtime. They're not going to be happy. It's the summer. They wanted to hang out with their demon families. Can't you just like fix this and go back to dying yourself? And he's like, nope, chicken vindaloo. But this gets so far out of hand that even Wonder Woman detects bad juju in the air of London and shows up with Shazam, who
does not care for Constantine one bit.
Because of the whole Trinity War Shazamstine when he stole Shazam's powers. Mm-hmm. And I love the fact that they're still keeping that there.
Yeah.
But they show up and Swamp Thing goes, hey guys, I know I can't believe I'm even saying this myself, but trust John Constantine. He has a plan. Just hang back. Don't worry. He'll take care of it. And everyone's like, really? And he's like, yeah, he's got a plan. He already told me about it. And they're like, okay, we'll trust you. You're a Swamp Thing. So this is on your swampy hands now. So as the final moments trickle out, another of Constantine's associates, someone by the name of Mercury, who was the person he was actually playing chicken with, not the demon, finally goes, he's gonna kill all 8 million people of London, shows up, tells him what the demon's name is because she's psychic, and he goes, that's all I needed, and he breaks the curse and banishes the demon back to hell and goes, good day for John Constantine, back in London. Yep, things are looking bright. And then we have the fourth wall breaking moment where he looks over and he's like, so I know you guys are all thinking, would he really have sacrificed all 8 million people just to save his own skin and enjoy some chicken vindaloo? Well, I guess you'll have to keep reading to find out.
The sillier John Constantine.
Less silly and more sarcastic, I think.
Cheeky, perhaps?
Yes. Yeah, I think that's
because
what they were
British,
going for.
you know.
Yeah, well, yeah. But it just seemed like he was just a very hangman's humor type thing where he was just kind of like, okay, well, whatever. I don't really care. There's nothing you got over me. He's a very modern day cynic right now where he's just like, whatever. I don't care. I'll do what I want. You don't know me. Z-Snap. Or I guess C-Snap in this play.
Yeah.
I thought it was cute. I liked it. I mean, I'm hoping we get the darker elements back, and I really liked the last run a lot. So
yeah, big shoes to fill after that Tinian and Doyle run.
Yeah, so I'm curious. I'm giving all the Rebirth issues themselves a little bit of a pass because they seem like just introductory.
Yeah.
Just here's the ground level basics of the character.
For everyone who said sod off at the New 52.
Yeah. So I want to wait until the actual number 1 to see what their style is and what they're going for. But it wasn't a bad start. It wasn't a bad start at all. So we'll see where it goes from there.
All right. Okay, Superman number 3. Lisa Tomasi with Jorge Jimenez.
I'm going to start a rumor on this one. I'll let you finish.
Okay.
I'm going to let you finish. But
All right. So John White, son of Super Dad.
Yes.
His powers are flaking out due to the fact that he is both human and Kryptonian. And he found, last issue, he found out his most devastating weakness, falling 10 feet out of a tree.
Yes.
So
he and Alan Scott will get along very well.
Yes.
I hate trees. I hate falling out of trees.
Oh, man. Best friends. So Super Dad flies John and Lois out to New 52 Superman's Fortress of Solitude, where the Eradicator is waiting, calmly petting Crypto the Super Dog. So Super Dad immediately freaks out and starts punching him. Why do you look like the Eradicator? Who do you work for? Who do you work for?
Why did you say that name?
Now, even I'm trying to stop doing that. Yeah, so the Eradicator's there. He looks like he's like carved out of onyx, which is kind of a cool visual. And because Super Dad is way overprotective of his kid, they just start bringing down the house and punching and fighting. And Eradicator actually winds up saving Lois and John from being crushed by a boulder, which is Lois's only weakness.
Yes.
Yeah. So Soup's like, all right, I guess you might be a good guy.
But I do
like
love the entire scene where he's working on John, and the entire inner monologue is, the Eradicator's right behind me. I should punch him in the face. I hate that guy.
Yes. It's really good. So while the Fortress is scanning John, Eradicator tells his new post-convergence / rebirth origin story, which is that the Eradicators were programmed by General Zod to suck the life force out of criminals. This particular one was off-planet when Krypton exploded, so it followed Superman's rocket to Earth because it must protect all Kryptonians, and it's the only one left. It's very glad that Superdad is procreating, but is not very happy that his son is tainted by his non-Kryptonian half. So he's got to eradicate it. It's like, you can't eradicate my son. I will only eradicate half of him. This will be perfectly fine. So he just unhinges his jaw like some kind of nightmare snake and just starts sucking and cutting the human out of John. When Crypto jumps in front of him like a very good boy and gets swallowed whole by the Eradicator.
Yeah.
So
here's my thing.
Yeah.
Guys, this is hot off the presses. It's totally true, too. It is entirely true. Tomasi and Gleason are fighting, and he's getting rid of all the animals so Gleason can't draw them anymore.
Yep. So
you like kitty cats? Meow! You like puppy dogs?
Yeah, so Superdad just goes ape on Eradicator after that, and John gets up, picks up Crypto's cape, and it's just like, oh man, why am I so bad at pets? Keep all the hamsters and wee baby turtles away from me. And also he gets glowing red rage eyes, and we'll see what happens in 2 weeks.
He's about to go rage mode here. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
it's the scene where Goku gets hurt and Gohan has to step in.
Sure, if you say so.
Dragon Ball Z, man. That's what the internet keeps calling it. This is the Gohan moment where he goes super god mode and just annihilates
lines floating in midair for like the next 8 issues while they explain himself. Yeah.
Heat vision as it goes for 3 pages. Yeah, that'd be kind of cool.
Yep.
You can get behind that, can't you?
Well, I don't know if I can get behind Dragon Ball Z.
Well,
I had my one roommate in college. I'd come home from a class, he'd be watching Dragon Ball Z. There'd be a guy, floating in midair. There'd be speed lines. I'd go, I'd make some dinner off in my room. I'd come back out a half hour later. Dude'd still be floating in midair with the speed lines going. It's like, dude, what is going on? He's like, this is very important. All right, if you say so.
Oh, come on. But Superman.
Yes.
Really good. Really good.
Very good.
I really like what they're doing. It's kind of a breakaway for me.
A highlight of every 2 weeks for me.
Yeah. And they're keeping a good pace. I know we're only like 3 issues in right now, but the quality is not dipping from the bi-weekly shipping whatsoever. And it looks like because they're sharing actually really strong creators on each one.
Yeah.
So it's not just a high-level creator and a apprentice or someone that's, still getting their legs under them or hasn't really built a name as the backup artist, and you get that really big drastic shift of art every other week.
Like,
so
it's like how I didn't realize, I thought that it actually was Barrows over in Detective, but it was actually someone else. It was actually his tag team partner, but he's still picking up on the same art cues.
Yep.
And sort of like Eradicator looks like a Gleason Eradicator, complete with the jaw and hinging and everything, which is a very Gleason thing to do. So
I thought it was good. I thought it was good. So I'm very happy to see. I'm not too surprised because of the creative team.
Yeah.
They've done so many things that I've really enjoyed ever since I've started reading. So it's kind of more of a happy to be vindicated that it maintains its quality. Yay! So what do you have coming up for the second half of the show, though, Brian?
Aquaman and Green Arrow.
Aquaman?
Yeah.
Man, that sounds like a pretty good book. Sounds like it should be pretty awesome. Don't you agree, Brian? Isn't it awesome?
Good.
I'm going to punch you in the throat. You're going to have Aquaman and just going to be followed by... as I... and I have Batman,
If you
Green
stab me with a
Lantern.
trident, it won't hurt me. So.
Yeah. The buddy cops of Green Lanterns, and then a new Suicide Squad to wrap up this episode. So hold on a couple quick seconds. We're going to take a really quick break, and when we come back, we'll run through those titles. DCR, and we got more books. More of them, like 5 more.
Yeah.
Kind of a short episode this week.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. It feels like we're kind of zipping through pretty quickly.
Yeah.
I guess it was mostly Rebirth introduction
Yeah.
ones for the first half. That'll do it. I'll have to remember that for next time. Stack more of the Rebirth books with a couple other ones. And normally I do short in the front because we have the intro and then one extra book in the back end because we don't have as much. But live and learn.
Yep.
Live and learn. But I am going to start it off with Batman, the big guy. The black and blue guy, blue and gray.
It's got a little yellow now, some purple.
It's a little bit, kind of all the color scheme on there right now. But the mystery starts to become a little bit less mysterious this issue as we get the background to Gotham and Gotham Girl. Hey, that's useful. We kind of like that, and now I kind of feel bad for them. I like them a little bit.
You know, what's the inevitable is going to be.
Well, we all know what's going to happen to them at some point, but. Years ago in a dark alley of Gotham, a mugger holds a family at gunpoint as they are mugged. Ooh. And just as the story looks to repeat itself as we have always seen it done many, many times in every media form, again and again and again. Batman shows up and knocks out the mugger and saves the people and leaves telling the people, hey, everyone gets their moment to be brave or bold and brave. You get the picture. See you later, guys. And then zips off. And the little kid that was there, the little boy, is just awestruck by Batman. And he grows up and he just wants to be like Batman so much. And he has a little kid sister who just idolizes her older brother and just wants to do everything he does. So when he's studying, forensic science, she's just sitting there looking at picture books on forensic science. I don't know what she's doing, but everything her older brother's
Baby's first autopsy book.
Yeah. Everything her older brother's doing, she's doing, and he is doing everything he can to be just like Batman. And, they train physically, they train mentally, they learn new skills. Eventually, when they turn 18, they both head off to a foreign country so that they can help those less fortunate in very dangerous countries and very dangerous situations. And they're doing what they can to help. And it shows them like, saving kids from warlords and stuff like that. And it's like, hey, these are good people. They were actually literally inspired by Batman and they're off doing their thing. But this story is being relayed by their father because he's under investigation by Special Agent Matches Malone.
Hey,
who's
nice.
shown up and, he's asking about an exorbitant sum of money that the dad wired over to them before they came home. And he's like, come on. We both know why you're here. They came back after I wired that money the same time Gotham and Gotham Girl showed up. But if you ask me, they're good people. And Matches Malone goes, well, I don't know anything about that. See, I'm just, here about the money. See, and, sounds like everything checks out. I'm out. I'm leaving. Jumps in his car and drives away. I have to say, one of my favorite guys over on Reddit, Aco620, is like, how can he not have more than one alter ego? Why does he just keep... And then in the panel when he's getting in the car, he's like, he didn't even wait until they were out of eyesight before he was taking off the fake mustache because they're standing on the porch waving and he's in the car taking the mustache. So I'm kind of picturing that maybe everyone in Gotham knows that Matches Malone is actually Batman and they're just humoring him at this point. He is Batman. He does a lot of nice things. So we should probably, just give him this one. Give him this one. But he ends up jumping back in the car and driving back when he gets a call from Alfred saying, hey, another attack on Gotham. This time suicide bombers on the bridge. And, so he hits the button and the car does the whole separate and he shoots out on the bat cycle all dressed up and the car comes back together and I'm assuming parks itself somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, we can do that now. We're in 2016.
Yeah,
we got
really.
self-driving cars. Makes his way to the bridge, though, where he finds Gotham and Gotham Girl are struggling to keep it standing, and they're all like, oh, thank God, Batman's here. And he's like, hey, guys, don't worry, I got this. And he starts attaching ropes all over the place, and he makes a quick quip to the kids saying, hey, it's nice to see what you guys did with your fear. And they're both like, oh, he knows who we are. And then he jumps off the bridge to start attaching all the cables everywhere. And as they're standing up there because they're taking a quick breather because they ran themselves dry, the guy's just beaming. Gotham is just like glowing with pride that Batman knows who he is.
Is he the little kid from the Overwatch trailer just grown up, basically?
Yeah, pretty much.
Nice.
Pretty much.
Very nice.
And he's just beaming with pride, and his little sister's like, God, you just want to be just like him all the time. If Batman jumped off a bridge, would you jump off a bridge? And Gotham's like, we literally just watched him jump off of a bridge. She's like, well, yeah, but you did it too. No, I'm flying. That's totally different. And I'm like, okay, these are likable characters. Yes. I like these characters now. And as they're having their little squabble back and forth on what their show up phrase should be, because she wants to be like, go Gothams, or Gothams congregate, or whatever. And as they're having their conversation,
Gotham assemble.
As they're having that conversation, explosion happens at one of the warehouses nearby, and they're like, well, Batman's tied up, let's go check it out. And as they swoop in, it's just chaos of all these people shooting each other, and in the middle of it all is Professor Hugo Strange, alongside Psycho Pirate, who is telling everyone, oh, you're so scared. You're so scared. And everyone's being all scared. So,
yeah.
Psycho Pirate has a pretty big history when it comes to the multiverse type stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are they playing that angle, or are they just going to have the straight up Psycho Pirate? This is his launch because
here's the classic Psycho Pirate back. Maybe we'll make him not just, a
crisis alarm.
Yeah, exactly. So when he actually does show up in the crisis, it's more important, perhaps?
Yeah, perhaps. We can play with those expectations like they're doing in Superman.
But if some crying dude shows up, then we know things are going...
Oh, God, Pariah, no. Get back to your corner, Pariah.
Oh, I'm sad that I'm Pariah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's obviously going to be a bad time for the Gothams. But their whole thing that they built up in this one is that they've overcome their fear. They idolize Batman so much, and his whole thing is focusing your fear and utilizing it to make yourself stronger. Maybe they'll be able to stand up to Psycho Pirate. I don't know. Maybe we'll see how it plays out. But they're likable characters now. They really, really are. And I'll be kind of a little sad if they go this quickly. Maybe they can hang out for 2 arcs, maybe 3 arcs. And then have their inevitable deaths at the hand of someone. Killer Croc just bites off an arm or something. I don't know, but just give him a little time, a little bit of time.
At least throw a rock at him.
It was a very solid issue. I know a lot of people were like, okay, generic template, Gotham and Gotham Girl, not really caring. They're kind of stand-ins for other characters here, but I guess we'll see how it goes. It's well written. It's the art's very good. And this one, we start to get some of the character and emotion back into it as well. So, he's not doing any inner monologue whatsoever with Batman. He's specifically avoiding it to try to separate his run from others.
Oh, and it's interesting.
Yeah, it's weird as well, though. You've grown so used to it after so many years of it that it's weird when it's not happening now. And you're just kind of like, wow. Now what do we do? I guess we just talk. Do we talk now?
Talk, huh?
Do we do exposition this way now, or do I just hold up a note with all the exposition on it, and that'll be that panel, and then we can go on with the rest of the story? I don't know what we're doing here, but it's good. I enjoyed it very much. Next up.
All right, moving on to Aquaman 3. Are you ready for some action?
Yeah.
Are you ready for some red hot diplomat action?
Well.
Red hot!
How red hot is it?
Well, the State Department has revoked the embassy status of Spindrift Station.
That's pretty hot.
It's like, guys, it's just super complicated to draw. We've got this book out bi-weekly. Have a heart for these poor artists.
Can't you just build like a tower or something?
Yes. Yeah. Merc is very mad. He's very angry. Him and Aquaman are trying to get back into the embassy, and the
the army
guardsmen
there just standing there like, guys, this is bad.
This is very bad.
This Merc guy is kind of scary, and that's Aquaman. I think he feeds people to fish. That's not going to work out well for us.
Yeah. So Aquaman tries to go, Mara, can you believe that they've revoked our embassy status? And she's like, all right. It's like, wait a minute. You're back in your Mara costume. He's like, yeah, I've already given up on the whole trying to be friends with surface dwellers thing. The Aquaman costume, no, I'm not doing that. I'm so tired of coming up with fish puns. They want to know how I keep my hair so full despite all the salt water. I use Aquanet, guys. Wah, wah. No, degrading. Forget it. Let's just live underwater and talk to fish. Wouldn't that be fun? She's like, no.
Remember when we lived in the sea? Wasn't that awesome?
Yeah. So, meanwhile, while Mara's just completely saying, bye Felicia to the surface dwellers, the Red State Atlanteans have kidnapped/saved Black Manta from the authorities, and they want to give him a purpose by joining NEMO.
Nemo?
It's a subdivision of DO. It's a subdivision of DORY. They're taking orders from MARLIN. And he just starts stabbing the crap out of the gold mask guys with little Pac-Man emblems on their chest.
I noticed that too. I was like, oh no, the Pac-Men are here.
No. Until their leader, Blackjack, who is the lady covered in black leather and the red orbs, calls him out on being a one-dimensional stab machine. And he goes, "Argh! Aquaman was right. Maybe I will listen to your pitch." Off panel. So,
I'm sure he had that moment where he was like, stab? No stab. No stab.
So Aquaman and Mera.
Blackjack's an old Aquaman villain, right?
Mm.
Yeah, that's what I was reading, that Blackjack used to be an old villain, like old school villain of Aquaman that they're rebuilding up here.
Probably a dude, I'm assuming, based on the
I would
name.
assume so as well.
Yeah. So Aquaman and Mera, although really just Aquaman, Mera just kind of tags along. He's like, fine, I guess I'll come along. And decides to show up on the front lawn of the White House, looking to talk to the president with trident in hand. And the guard's just like, oh, man, well, I mean, I guess if he stabs the president with that thing, it won't kill him. It's the least lethal trident in the world. So I guess we could let him in. So he talks to the president. He's all, well, you do good work with the Justice League. And then all of a sudden, some other dude in a suit shows up and arrests Aquaman for war crimes because Atlanta just destroyed a navy.
Atlanta just attacked?
Atlantis just destroyed a Navy vessel. He's like, was this all a distraction? And so Arthur's like, well, crap, I guess I've got to let this go smoothly. I'm going to let them arrest me. Mera, I swear to God, don't do anything that you are thinking of doing right now because, good Lord, I don't want it to go any worse. Can I just drown them right now using the water cooler? Just a little? No, Mera, no. Pop a few blood vessels. No, we've had this talk. Can I at least make them wet themselves? You can do that? No, Mera, no. Bad. You let me get arrested right now.
So what's the over-under on Mera actually listening to him whatsoever in the next issue?
I don't know how odds work, but more than likely she's going to do some water murdering at one point.
It'll just be, Mr. President's thirsty. Here's some water. Can you let my husband out? I don't think it's going to go that route.
No.
Well, come on. You have to admit, it's an interesting take on the whole thing.
I like Mera.
Everyone
Mera
likes
a lot.
Mera. Everyone likes Mera. Mera's the best. But as far as I like the diplomatic angle of it and the fact that it's not just him stabbing stuff with the most non-lethal trident in the world, but we're getting him legitimately trying to fix his goal. He has an end goal and he's legitimately trying to fix it.
Yeah.
Not just going, well, who can I go beat up because now my embassy got shut down? It's, well, I'm going to go have a state meeting with the president and find out what's going on.
It's being very well written. I've just got this version of Aquaman that I'm constantly writing in my head.
The really crappy King version?
It's like when I read an Aquaman book, I want to see sea monsters and punching said sea monsters, and we've got on land diplomat action. It's like, oh, come on, guys.
We'll get there.
I hope
it's
so.
Build up. It's build up. You have to have a good foe for it. And he's got Nemo. He found them.
Yes.
Next up, how do you feel about buddy cops, Brian?
I love buddy cops.
What do you feel about the most lethal weapon in the universe?
You're very proud of that.
I am very proud of that. We got Green Lanterns #3, where Simon Baz and Jessica Cruz are trying to stop a Red Lantern incursion on Earth, with Simon still carrying the teddy bear he picked up in issue 1 to give to his nephew.
Aww.
And I love the fact that it's been 3 issues and they haven't dropped that yet, where it's just him still flying around with this teddy bear under his arm for the entirety of this. Everything you've heard what's been going on as he's been fighting and running around, he's had a teddy bear under his arm the entire time. But they are immediately presented with a foe well outside their power levels as Bleeze is sent by Atrocitus to stop them from interfering. And Jessica is quickly batted away, kind of sadly. She just gets knocked up through a skyscraper. And the rage itself starts to creep into Simon as they're fighting. And he's thinking about all of the harassment his family receives for their faith and culture and how no matter what they're doing, he's a Green Lantern, for God's sake. He's trying to save the world and he's still looked at with distrust all the time. And it's like, that makes me so angry. But something within him sparks as the ring washes over both of them. He kind of has the willpower to overcome it all. And he ends up healing Bleeze and restoring her to her pre-rage mode state. So she's like the blue angel-winged lady, princess lady once again.
Oh.
And she's going,
That's why she's got the bone wings.
Wait.
Not just for...
Wait, am I free of the rage thing? Holy crap, I'm back to normal. Oh man, I did a lot of bad stuff as Bleeze. And she can't really even live with herself and the thing she's done. She's about to commit suicide when Simon comes up and stops her and says, hey, look, I've done some very bad things out of anger as well. You have to learn to forgive yourself, and then you can try to make amends, but you can't just take the easy way out and kill yourself. And Bleez is going, you're right, but Atrocitus is going to use the Hell Tower to take over this planet. We can't let that happen. We have to do everything. Ow! What the hell was that? And we look up to see Jessica Cruz like, get away from him, evil hell monster. She's throwing copy machines at her and stuff. And Simon's going, no, she's a good guy now. And Jessica's just going, no way, I'll save you, Simon. And just flies out and starts like punching Bleez in the face. Not even any, notice whatsoever that she's turned into a blue angel instead of being the red demon monster thing. And she's like, bad guy, punch in face, punch in face, punch in face. And, Bleez kind of gets overcome with rage from getting punched in the face all the time and turns back into red rage monster Bleez. But still has some
rookie
of it,
mistake.
Still has some of it left in her because she realizes if she goes back to Atrocitus, he'll kill her, and she can't hang out here because she's just is not going to hang out with these two morons, and flies off on her own to try to figure out her own path. While Simon's just like, "What are you doing? I had that." And Jessica's like, don't worry, I saved you. You can chalk it up to another win for Jessica Cruz. And he's like, no, you're a moron. I had turned her to our side. She was going to help us. Besides, I'm the renegade loose cannon in this whole thing.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be the by-the-book person.
You're throwing off the dynamic.
Yeah, you're muddling this whole thing up. And she's just kind of kicking a rock in the background like, whatever, I can be a renegade too. I met Hal Jordan. I know how to do this. So the two finally fly off to the Hell Tower to armed with the knowledge that if they stop it there, they'll stop this whole Red Lantern incursion.
Mind you, when she met Hal Jordan, he just introduced her to the Flash instead and said bye.
See you later. Your problem now, Flash. So as they prepare for battle to take down this Hell Tower, all of a sudden Simon gets blasted from behind, and he turns around to find a super pissed rage mode Jessica Cruz, who is very tired of his superiority complex and is being infected by the red energy. And he's like, also back in Michigan, Simon's brother and sister-in-law get a surprise visit as that Guardian that we saw flying around with the mystery box out in the universe has tracked Green Lantern energy there and dates himself a little bit when he goes, gee, I hope it sure is Green Lantern Hal Jordan, that most awesome guy who never messes things up that lives here. Or maybe it's that new one, John Stewart. Either one will work fine for me. And they're both just standing there like, oh boy, we should probably call Simon on this one. It's actually pretty funny. And, that should be an interesting one. So apparently one of the Guardians took off around that time era is what we're referencing back with something. And, now he's come back. Poor guy is a little out of the loop. And he even says, I may be a little low information right now, but, if it's Hal Jordan, that would be awesome. And everyone in the world's like, you don't want Hal Jordan. Trust me. He's just going to get hit on the head and complain. Still fun. The characterizations are what make it. And it's, it's pretty by the book Green Lanterns versus Red Lanterns, but the way they're doing it is pretty amusing, I have to admit. And, we are still building up the characters for both Simon and Jessica, and it's being done very naturally. I'm pretty impressed, honestly, with this book. I wasn't expecting to really, dig it that much, and I am. So,
yeah,
hey.
Sounds like they found a good angle.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, moving on to Green Arrow number 3 with, Juan Ferreira tagging in on art.
Yeah.
No,
oh, no.
Stop. Yeah. Juan Ferreira and Otto Schmidt, all they need is an animal sidekick to complete the necessary elements of a good tag team. Like the British Bulldogs or any team Coco Beware was on.
Any of those.
Yes. All right. So, Oliver Queen is dead to the world. Queen Industries has been taken over by its CEO, Matthew Broderick. Oh, no. Who is actually a subordinate of the 9th level, a shadowy organization.
Ninth Circle.
I thought it was level in this one.
Circle.
Circle?
Yeah, I think. Isn't it? Isn't it Ninth Circle? I'm pretty sure it's Ninth Circle because they have all the little circles.
I'm pretty sure I checked because I was writing both 9th level and 9th Circle.
It's supposed to be the 9 circles of hell.
Well, I suppose someone will correct one of us.
Because the guy's name is Dante.
Well, yes. Well,
it's the 9 circles of hell.
We're getting there, yeah. There's also levels of hell.
No, it's circles. It's circles.
All right. So, someone involving the number 9 and circles or levels is trying to control the world. So, as his only identity left, Green Arrow storms the Queen Tower building and has to overcome a crap ton of security measures to get through without getting caught.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
I did like him complaining the entire time, or just apologizing to all the guards, like, Christmas bonus will be good, chop. You'll get the max raise next time. Punch.
Meanwhile, off in Italy, Diggle is following through with the weird encrypted messages that were sent after the Burned Men ruined his last mercenary mission in the Middle East. He follows clues, holds up a priest in a confessional, and goes to a secret underground skull lair and meets a guy named Virgil who tells him all about the 9th level and/or circle. Like, wait a minute, I'm in a Roman church, I'm listening to someone named Virgil telling me about Dante's Inferno and the 9 levels of hell. My God, have I stumbled into a Dan Brown novel? And then we get this cool overlap of the two of them talking while Green Arrow just arrows Burned Men through the neck and hands as he gets to Broderick, who looks super cool with his triangle skull mask.
Yep.
Being drawn by one for as we learn all that the 9th circle is a bank. The true evils of the world are bankers, the most Green Arrow enemy humanly possible.
Yep.
Mwah.
They finance all of the evil doing around the world.
Yep.
They're like
great.
The
evil
Quicken loans.
Evil cost money.
It is pretty Green Arrow, though, you have to admit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Ollie confronts Broderick. Shadow shows up and tries to kill him again. And he grabs Broderick's laptop and jumps out the window. I just want to make sure you dispose of the lithium-ion battery properly so you don't harm the environment. And Shadow jumps after him, and it looks awesome. It looks great. Meanwhile, at the Inferno, the ginormous international waters floating evil spire warship, whatever it is, we meet Dante, a burned dude in an all-red suit, who either has a disgustingly elaborate mask or just has this burned skin sloughing off of his skull.
Yeah, it's not good either way.
Yeah, no matter either way, not good.
I guess the sloughing skin would probably be the worst of the two, though.
Yeah. And he's super mad at Shadow constantly not killing Green Arrow. Are you working with him? Because, you see, the Yakuza defaulted on a loan to them, so now the 9th Circle owns her blood oath.
Yep.
Which is hilarious.
Yep.
So
it got bonded up into a security package and sold off to the 9th Circle.
So Ali gets...
Wait, who do I have a blood debt to now? Can someone just tell me who my blood debt is to?
So Ali gets captured by the cops in the ensuing chase, and Shadow fails again to kill him. So Dante wants to kill Shadow and Emiko for the insolence, but Emiko saves her butt once again by pointing out that they have two things that Green Arrow cares about the most. Me, Emiko, his little
being
sister,
awesome, yes.
being awesome and all. And see that tiny little dot on that security tape? Because Black Canary is hiding out on that shipping vessel coming to us. And because she followed her own Dan Brown clues to find out where we are.
Well, her Dan Brown clues are more punching enabled.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But still, Dan Brown clues.
It's a clue. Punch.
Yep.
It's a clue. Punch.
So with me and her, you've got the ultimate card to finally get rid of Oliver Queen. Just saying. I'm Emiko. Mic drop.
You would
Peace.
think scissors would be like the ultimate bane of Green Arrow. Just like snip.
Well,
no more bow.
I suppose, yes.
So yeah, you're all on board on
I'm
this
all
one,
on board
aren't
on
you?
this, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's very well done. I love what they're doing with it. It's a bit, I don't even want to say toned down. It kind of is from where it was before Rebirth, but at the same time it's not. When he was a werewolf,
when he was a werewolf, there was that. But if you replace a werewolf with the Inferno, which is the most gloriously comic book ridiculous visual I've ever seen in my life.
I know. That's why I'm having a hard time saying it, but he's not a werewolf anymore.
Yeah, that is true. He got his Lupinex, you know.
So, I mean, that's kind of a reeling it in a little bit in my book.
Yeah.
Sure, there's a giant hell station that could not be missed by anyone.
Has two separate types of minions in the Burn Men and the Slurm monsters.
Yep. So, I mean, yeah, I guess I could see where it's a little out there, but but at the same time, the core of it is Green Arrow fighting the banks and being super leftist as always.
Yeah.
We got one more though. New Suicide Squad. This is going to be really, really quick. It's a quick character study of Harley Quinn. She stops by the shrink after everything's been going south.
Only
with
the
her.
15th or so we've gotten since the new 52 start.
Yeah, it's treading water until Rebirth. It feels they're just kind of doing okay. We got to fill like another issue or two. So what do we have in the drawer there? Oh, look, a character study for Harley Quinn. Let's do that real quick. And it's her just growing up, and her mom always used to tell her to do things, and she didn't want to, and her dad was just kind of a Lothario running around town just because he wanted to have some fun. Ooh! And she grew up, and then the Joker was always telling her what to do, and then Batman's always telling her what to do. She really just wants to be herself and do her own thing, and maybe just have a little fun. Sad panda. That's about it. There's really nothing much that happens in the issue. It's if you like Harley Quinn, it's a quick look behind the curtain for Harley Quinn, but other than that, I feel like we've gotten that literally 40 times now. Not really my big thing, but I understand they're waiting for other things, and they have their contracts and whatnot. I'm sure that they have to finish some things out. So off they go. They're doing their thing. So why do I do that again? Keep ending on a sour note. I don't want to do that. Injustice came out this week too, and it was good. I've been still reading those. I quite enjoy the Injustice books.
Very good.
I know it's a darkest timeline, and everyone's just like, ugh, it's just so horrible there. Everything's so dark and evil. I kind of like it. I enjoy it. I also like Warhammer 40K, so I guess I can see where that matches up a little bit. But a reminder, you guys go out there and buy these books, buy the things you support, buy the things you like, because if you don't, they'll quit making them. It's pretty easy. I mean, it's not just up to you, but if the numbers are low enough, that's just how business works. You guys know that as well as we do. So make sure you support what you like. Next week, we do have more books. And eventually, I'm actually going to have this page up by the time we get to this.
Hey, we can pad that episode,
All right. So next week, we have Action Comics number 960. Batgirl number 1. It's kind of weird. They did the Rebirth, and then the next week, the number 1.
Yeah.
Deathstroke number 20. Detective Comics number 937.
Is it just Batgirl, or is it Batgirl and the Birds of Prey?
Batgirl. Oh,
okay,
I'm sorry.
So that's why,
Yep, gotcha. Dr. Fate number 14. Hal Jordan and the Green Lantern Corps. Harley Quinn. Nightwing. Red Hood and the Outlaws Rebirth. Teen Titans number 22. Hey, is that a Damien on the cover? No, it's not. The Flash, Titans, and Wonder Woman. So we get a much larger load next week than what we've been getting. It's kind of catching up to us here. Hopefully they split them up and it doesn't become like it's always been, where it's that last week is just everything that got pushed until the end of the month, but they still want to release it in the month they promised they were going to do it. Because that got really annoying when it would be like 4 books, 7 books, 9 books, 19 books.
It's like, oh my God.
So yeah, we will be covering that stuff next week as always. If you do want to contact us, you can do so where, Brian?
On the internet.
Yep. You guys know how it works. We're not selling anything.
Yep.
Well, I'm not selling anything, so I don't really care.
DCR podcast, Twitter, Tumblr.
Yep. If you want to ask us a question, I will try my damnedest to answer it. I know Brian's been doing it much better than I on the Facebooks.
Yeah, Facebook's a good way to contact us.
I suck. I just have no time anymore. So
yeah.
That being said, since we are trying to cut this short a little bit, Brian, do you have anything before we jet?
Still the Brian G on Tumblr. I saw Deadpool and I actually liked it.
Yeah, it was funny. It was humorous.
It really picked up and had a real story by the end.
Yep. I don't even know about that. I just liked Dadbane Colossus myself.
Dadbane Colossus is great. Negasonic Teenage Warhead is great. I loved when he showed up back. It's like, same 2 X-Men. What are the chances? It's almost like we couldn't afford any more or something.
Yeah, it was pretty good. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
And that Junkie XL.
Oh, Junkie XL, yes.
Love Junkie XL.
Yes.
With the Michael Jackson bad gongs or whatever you call those things throughout the entire movie. Loved it. Good job, Junkie XL.
Not as good as the Wet Hot American Summer pot breaking though. As far as sound effects. As far as running sound jokes, that pot effect just makes me laugh every single time I hear it now.
Yep.
All right. That being said, everyone, enjoy your books, enjoy your week, enjoy your lives, and we're going to talk to you next week.